yourself.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
Welcome everyone to Marvel Hub. This is DK Dynamite, and tonight we're going to be going a little bit more in depth with that leak from an individual named Seymour over on the Marvel Studios Spoilers Reddit. And the reason for that is because earlier today we got a brand new TV spot which showed a little bit of new footage, which definitely caught my attention because right towards the end of that footage we got another look at Thanos and what seems to be the final battle that was already leaked from a lot of that footage that went up on the internet about a week ago. And keep in mind, we're going to be going to some very spoiler territory here within this video, so if you don't want to hear any massive spoilers, definitely click off now. But within that leaked footage we got the other day, we obviously got a glimpse at, and not the entire thing, but a glimpse at the final battle in Avengers Endgame. And we're not sure where that giant battle took place, but in the footage itself you can't really see Thanos wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, so we had no idea if Thanos does have the stones at this point in the film, which seems to be the final act of Avengers Endgame. But according to that leak from Seymour, Thanos does have the gauntlet and does have access to 5 out of the 6 Infinity Stones during the final battle of Avengers Endgame. Now if you guys are wondering, well, why 5 out of 6? Well, apparently when the Avengers go through the quantum realm and back in time to collect or copy the Infinity Stones for their Stark Gauntlet, apparently when they gain access to the Soul Stone, this somehow erases the Soul Stone from Thanos' gauntlet. So you're going to have a Stark Gauntlet with 6 Infinity Stones versus Thanos with his gauntlet while he's only using 5 out of these 6 Infinity Stones, which to me is kind of confusing, but I'm sure if this is true, it'll be explained pretty well in detail throughout the actual film. Hopefully isn't something that we're having questions about after the movie is over, but for some reason, according to the leaker named Seymour, there can only be 1 Soul Stone at a time. So let's go ahead and read this post over on the Marvel Studios Spoilers Reddit. This was posted by Paper Champion 23. Now, I've covered leaks from this person before, and the fact that he's made an article about the Seymour leaker is quite interesting. So this could mean we have one leaker who has been pretty credible in the past is now sharing information about another leaker, which could end up being credible later down the line. So, as he says, in the leaked footage, most people thought Thanos wasn't using the gauntlet at all, as we couldn't see any stones or glow from the gauntlet while he fought the big 3, Cap with Mjolnir, Iron Man, and Thor. And when he sends his army, yet, here we can clearly see the time and power stones in a charred gauntlet. It's just super faded. Seymour has been telling people against all odds, because there was literally no proof, Thanos has his gauntlet and stone still, and now it technically has been verified by this TV spot. This was never mentioned or specified by any leak or rumor before him. This means that there are at least 2 versions of the power and time stones, and I assume the mind, reality, and space as well. As his stones clearly have different appearance from the ones in the Stark Gauntlet, they are much less faded. This aligns with Seymour's claim that there are 2 copies of the Infinity Stones in this final battle. It still doesn't prove that the Soul Stone is one on its own yet, however. Yes, it could be edited, but we know nothing else in this shot is. As we see, they didn't even scrub out his massive ass army in the background. Thanos' gauntlet is still permanently charred, it seems, either indicating he can't repair it, or this Thanos is one that just recently prevented his death, like the leaker was also saying. So before we go any more in depth with this post, I just wanted to remind you guys that back at the time when we had some Infinity War coverage and a lot of Infinity War TV spots and trailers and promotion, it was clearly edited to only show Thanos with 2 stones throughout all the promotions. He had the Space Stone and the Power Stone. They even had a TV spot where they showed Cap holding back Thanos and his gauntlet, but on the gauntlet you can only see still the Space and Power Stone. So that led us to all come up with a bunch of these fan theories as to whether or not it was purposeful for them to show Thanos with all the stones as he enters Wakanda, because it's clearly a spoiler that by the time he gets to Wakanda, and that means the Mind Stone is the last stone he has to collect, at that point in the film for Infinity War, he has 5 out of the 6 stones, when in other promotion and in other TV spots, they show show Captain Thanos fighting in Wakanda while Thanos only has 2 out of the 6 stones in his gauntlet. So we weren't sure if that was purposeful since the movie was so close to release. They thought some of us wouldn't notice, or if it was really this big accident behind the scenes where some different marketing team forgot to CGI out the Infinity Stones from the gauntlet. We just weren't sure what happened there with that Infinity War promotion, and the reason I bring that up in the first place is because they could easily be throwing us off with these Endgame TV spots and these Endgame trailers. There could be anything going on throughout this final battle here for Avengers Endgame. So in the leaked footage, obviously, for the final battle, we couldn't really see whether or not Thanos even had a gauntlet on or if he had any stones. We just know that in the final battle, according to the leaked footage, he wasn't using the stones within that battle. So with that being said, looking at any of these TV spots and trailers, we could easily assume that either they are kind of throwing us off in the sense that they're showing us a burned or damaged gauntlet to make us think that he doesn't repair it throughout the film. They could be showing us a damaged gauntlet with the Power Stone or the Time Stone on it, just in this trailer to throw us off into thinking that he'll have the stones at the very end of the film, when in reality, maybe he doesn't have a gauntlet or the stones at all in the final battle for Avengers Endgame. But according to these people, some people are claiming that they could see the gauntlet pretty vaguely within the leaked footage. So maybe he does have a gauntlet at the end of the film for Avengers Endgame, but maybe it isn't damaged. Maybe it isn't all charred up like it was at the end of Infinity War. So we have no idea what the purpose of the CGI is for these Avengers Endgame TV spots. Maybe they're throwing us off. Maybe it's reflecting what's actually going to happen. We have no idea as of right now, and we don't know because we couldn't very clearly see what the gauntlet looked like in that leaked footage. So I'm going to go on and continue reading this post here by Paper Champion. He says, this shows that after the snap, the stones are super faded, even when in use, so the leaked footage probably wouldn't allow us to see the gauntlet and stones well anyway. It also confirms the order of the stones. Time on the thumb, power on the index, just like the first image I shared. The rest in that first image is unfortunately not visible, so we can't tell if the Mind, Space, and Reality stones are also there, while the Soul Stone is allegedly missing. But this should be enough proof to see one of Seymour's claims actually be validated, unless the footage is edited here, while I highly doubt considering nothing else in that shot and they kept details of the gauntlet from Infinity War accurate. This actually may be proof that points in his favor for now. Please behave, guys. This possibly proves 2 of Seymour's claims. Number 1, Thanos still uses the Infinity Gauntlet and stones, though damaged and faded like in Infinity War, during this final battle. There are likely duplicates of the stones because the Stark Gauntlet is full at this point in the movie, though according to Seymour, not the Soul Stone, just the other 5. The Soul Stone is likely destroyed at this point then too. So he even acknowledges that yes, the image could easily be edited, and obviously the footage from the trailer could be just to throw us off, but according to Seymour's claim, things are slowly lining up. Now, as the Gaming Revolution actually spoke about within the previous video talking about Seymour's claims, there is a lot wrong with some of the later leaks that he goes on about in regards to Captain America going to the past, there being some type of time loop, and him being Peggy's actual husband from the past that she never spoke about. There's definitely a lot wrong with that leak because if you look at it, it's kind of undoing all of Captain America's character development. It's kind of undoing a lot that was already established in the MCU with Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. and so much other stuff that it's kind of questionable to say that that is the fitting end to Captain America's life. And it's kind of questionable to say that there's so much happening with Tony's arc in this movie too that he'll end up just dying in Pepper's arms. So it's kind of a weird leak. I'm not really on board with all of it just yet. He could have just been really lucky to say that Thanos' gauntlet is all burned up at the end of Endgame. He could have been lucky to say that, you know, the Stark Gauntlet is full by the time they get to the final battle. We have no idea what he actually said that is going to end up being true versus things that he may have said already that could just be lucky guesses. We just don't know just yet. But let me know what you think of all this down below in the comment section. This has been DK Dynamite, and I just wanted to remind you guys that obviously promotions, TV spots, full-on trailers, interviews could all be used to throw us off, and we've seen that with Infinity War before with the Hulk being in Wakanda, with Thanos not having his completed gauntlet. We've seen this happen before, so once again, take all of the promotion and advertisement with a grain of salt. They don't want to spoil the movie for any of us, and I'm sure last year with Infinity War, when they did show Thanos entering Wakanda with his completed gauntlet, or with 5 out of the 6 stones, I'm pretty sure that wasn't intentional, and that was definitely a mistake on one of the editor's parts for whatever marketing team put that out there. I'm pretty sure that's what happened here, and since we couldn't see the gauntlet very clearly in the leaked footage, everything's still up for debate at this point as to whether or not Thanos will have a completed gauntlet by the end of the film. But what we do know for a fact is that the Stark Gauntlet will be complete before the third act of Avengers Endgame. But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn notifications on to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Marvel news and information. Peace out, everyone.